class topic பார்த்தீங்கன்னா factors affecting teaching related to they have separated each thing as factors affecting related to teacher, related to learner, related to support material, related to instruction facilities, then learning environment, and then institution. So here are the main things. So we will be seeing all the factors separately in the upcoming slides. So first moving on to the teachers. So since this class is all about factors, there are very less number of slides I have prepared. Still, I'll try to give you a total coverage on what the topic is about or how it is being perceived. So first one, factors affecting teaching related to teacher. நல்லா பார்த்துக்கோங்க, the total teaching process they are analyzing different factors affecting the process of teaching in different perspectives. First perspective is based upon the teacher who is teaching the content. So first one is subject knowledge. ஒரு டீச்சர் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா when we are going to teach a subject in a class, he or she should have a thorough, if not in depth, they should have somewhat subject knowledge on what they are going to speak. If you ask me, guys, I won't say myself I am well versed in the paper one total whole subject. Still, whenever I get time, in order to take class every day, I am reading and compiling various notes and go through various websites so that I can grasp what is being or what is should be taught in this class, so that you can get the gist of the subject. So I have to have a subject knowledge, then only I can teach you whatever it is feasible to learn. So first one is subject knowledge. Next, understanding learners. இப்போ நம்ம class I'll be mostly using our own class as example, so please bear. um, understanding learners, இப்போ எனக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா from this is the fourth day of our class. So in these 3 days, previous 3 days, I have been receiving a very different type of feedbacks or responses from each of you, either in the group or in a separate conversation. Maybe it is a phone conversation or message or through direct face to face, because some of us are my fellow scholars, so we are meeting daily. I do get feedback. So here, each of the person attending this class has a different opinion on how this class should proceed. First day பார்த்தீங்கன்னா I chose some content. So some of you guys are happy with the content, but some of you are not happy with that. You asked for practice questions. Then yesterday we included practice questions, but I though many of you appreciated that, still some of you are not satisfied with the yesterday's class because they expected more subjective content, not just mere slides, because they wanted to uh, do as much as, just a minute please guys, I cannot let you join hereafter, please. I'm sorry for that, because I cannot disrupt the flow of the class, so that I can't allow. Let's see if we, in the meantime of changing slides, I might admit all. Let's see how it goes. So understanding learners, நம்மளுக்கு வந்து அந்த லேர்னர் வந்து எப்படி இருக்குன்னு. ஸோ மோஸ்ட்லி we are focusing on the learners, but most of the cases here the teaching material is being focused on the school students and to some extent level higher education college students. So school students க்கு பார்க்கும்போது their maturity and background thing and all should be understood by the person teaching the subject. But here the biggest challenge is that a teacher cannot observe everything on the very first day itself. So he or she has to do some background check or whatever, in whatever way possible, if they are going to continue in a long run. For one class, two class, that need not necessary. If they are doing, that's better. Still, it might not be necessary. So we I have to, here in our class, I have to understand. Jatin completely don't understand Tamil. So, and Abhigna don't understand the complicated version of Tamil. She can speak a very mild manner. Just a minute. Yes, Parimla ma'am. Parimla ma'am, yes. Okay, she's not replying. So, and some of you are here, Jeeva ma'am wanted question because அவங்க வந்து she is working as a professor. So, she wanted to crack it, the exam as quickly as possible. So, she is giving preference more to the method of cracking the exam, the terminology. So, then, um, next, moving on to the teaching skills. Teaching skills வந்து we have to, when we are going to be a teacher, we have to gain whatever method that mainly lies with communication. It is the next units, upcoming units. Still, not only that, on how we are presenting the content, how we are, some people would give, because in my plus 2 schooling, my physics teacher used to say just the example in a very simpler manner. That's it. He won't explain the scientific terms, that and all. Based on what is given in this book, he will prefer a very common simplest form of example, so that we can compare and understand the subject. And some might, எனக்கு ரொம்ப லைஃப்ல மறக்க முடியாத ஒரு விஷயம், my maths teacher, one of the maths, because in 11th 12th itself I had almost three types of maths teachers. So one maths teacher, uh, he was the principal at that time, acting principal at the time. So whenever he comes class, we used to have a combined class, with other sections. So three classes was combined for his own subject teaching. There, what he did was, he was saying the evolution of numbers. He was saying some story like that, how that number from natural numbers, whole numbers, everything. I was listening to his story the whole day. So not just a day, he was teaching it for almost a whole week, from Monday to at the end of Friday. By the end of reaching Friday, he came to the imaginary number part. So from natural numbers, whole numbers, fractions, everything, he finally came to the imaginary number. Then only I understood that till now he was not just narrating a story, but rather he was providing a very insightful knowledge on the evolution of numbers from that topic, because it was the third unit. Almost, I think everyone is almost 90s kids. So in our TN syllabus, everyone would have heard of the imaginary numbers in max plus 2, if you have gone to that group. So அந்த இதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணாருன்னா, then only I understood that அதுல வர first two lines are one para. That para alone he was teaching for a whole week. Then only I understood that no, he was not going, but he was not going something away from the subject. Rather, he provided a very beautiful narrative in a pictorial manner. He was drawing something in the class, something like that. So his teaching skills inspired me on how to present everything whatever I learned. When I if I am have to teach somebody, I have to provide a very good presentation. Next, approachability. Approachability means, இப்ப நம்ம ஒருத்தர்கிட்ட போய் டவுட் கேட்கும்போது, if you are asking doubt with somebody, we cannot, if the person is not responding in a proper manner, we won't approach them. So there were teachers in my schooling itself. There were teachers who are very approachable. No matter how many times, no matter how silly questions I asked, they used to provide me guidance. And at the same time, there were teachers, whenever I asked question, if they are not satisfied with my question, they used to beat, what were you doing in the class, weren't you not listening, something like that. So I used to avoid such type of teachers. I hope that applies to everyone of us also. So approachability is the main one more factor affecting the teaching. If the teacher cannot be approached in a safe manner, then the teacher might not understand the student whether they have efficiently conveyed the subject matter to the student and their own problems with the students. So the teaching will surely lag or downfall in the long run. Next, behavior and personality. அப்ரோச்சபிலிட்டிக்கும் பிஹேவியர் அண்ட் பர்சனாலிட்டிக்கும் ஒரே மாதிரி இருந்தாலும் the here what the difference is that approachability is purely based on the learner teacher relationship. So they should both have a contact, whereas if a student is approaching, then the approachability process comes. But behavior and personality is that even though the student is not at all approaching the staff also, the staff might project. Whenever we hear a name of a staff, we will know, no, he is like this, he is like that. So we observe him in a that person, that teacher, in a long distance. We observe their own way of speaking and way of dressing and whatever things they are doing, we are observing as a learner. So we are in our own words, we are putting marks for that teacher, he is the best or not, we are giving rating in our mind itself. So that is behavior and personality. Next, mental health. Here the mental health of the teacher, if the teacher is having his own problems at home or somewhere, he cannot efficiently perform the teaching process in the classroom. So he has to maintain his mental health. So mental health plays a major role. Whenever there is a problem with his own personal life in his family, he cannot that thing will affect in the classroom. So நம்மளுக்கு இப்ப I don't know how many of you guys have seen இந்த பரிதாபங்கள் வரதுல வந்து இந்த அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி பரிதாபங்கள்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதுல வந்து பேப்பர் திருத்தறதுக்கு ஒரு காமெடி ஒன்று வரும். I think you guys might have seen that. So there, since my bike is burned down, why should I pass this guy? I will put fail. Let him put revaluation and get passed. So that is a comedy in that. That's a comedy video. Still, that's how in many places it is happening. The personal impact of the teacher is being projected to the student and influencing and enforcing them in a very bad manner. Not a, mostly it won't be a positive manner. It will influence in a bad manner only. Last one is that discipline. Here discipline means first thing we can make it as punctuality. So when the punctuality process is happening, the we as a teacher should be punctual. We should start the class, we should reach the class at all times. Then if we are giving any commitments like providing notes or something, at the most we should try to keep up the commitment. Next, personal self discipline, way of dressing, haircut, and if we are in a campus, we have to follow whatever rules laid down by the management of that campus. So if we, நான் ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி ப்ரீவியஸ் கிளாஸ்ல, in my college UG, professors have to tie a tie, but in some other places where I was working, tie was not necessary. Rather, we have to tuck in perfectly, and we have to use a proper full hand shirt or something, and not normal sports shoe. We should have a leather shoe. So these things and all was laid down by the management. So being a employee of that management and also a teacher, I have to follow all those rules so that I can become a better disciplined person. This applies also all the habits, smoking, drinking, and many things. So we should do that. So moving on to the next slide, factors affecting teaching related to the learner. So learnerக்கு பாத்தீங்கன்னா டீச்சருக்கு we had many factors, but learners அப்படின்னும் போது அவங்களுடைய பிரச்சனைகள் வந்து என்ன நம்மள அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணுது, what are all the problems or reasons based on the learners is affecting the teaching process. So first one is learners well-being. When a student is sitting in a class, if he or she is not feeling well, they cannot listen properly and be attentive in the class. So the first thing should be learners' well-being. Not just physical alone, their mental also, they should be uh, very much healthy manner, so that they should not have any stress or something based on their own personal experiences. Those things should not come and disrupt the learner's well-being. So first thing is the learner's well-being. Next, learner's potential. இந்த இடத்துல பொட்டன்ஷியல்னும் போது we can நம்ம இதுல actually I think all these things are kind of repeating, so please understand this, all these are interrelated, so many of the statements would be repeated from the previous classes also. So here learner's potential means we can one child might be a sports person, one child might be an artist, one child might be a reader, very good learner. So the potential or the ability of the child or the learner to observe and adapt the subject is very much different. So when in a class, if all the learners are equally potential in a certain aspect, then on that certain aspect basis, the teaching can be progress in a very effective manner. But that cannot be the case in real life now. So நம்மளுக்கு எப்பவுமே we do have some variations in the class itself. அப்போ one guy might be a latecomer, one guy might be a very slow learner, so we have to slow down the pace. Likewise, இப்ப நம்ம ஒண்ணுல நம்ம சின்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள், நேத்து நம்ம கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருக்கும் போதே some of you have answered very fastly, some of you took some time, because you have to read those lines, you have to process the content, then you have to correlate with the subject thought, then you have answered. Some did it in a very rapid manner within few seconds, some of you took some almost a minute. So that's where the learner's potential. Here these potential can be trained and brought up, but that would take time. So if I am a regular teacher for that particular learner, I can train up, I can make up plans to train and develop that learner. But இப்ப நம்ம இந்த ஆன்லைன் கிளாஸ் மாதிரி, if I am just getting a normal 1 hour or something like that without even meeting, so I cannot put much effort in bringing up the learner to a better potential. So learner's potential also is a main factor affecting the teaching process. Next, aspiration and motivation. காமனா இருக்கிறது. I don't want you guys to answer. Still, I am posing a question. You just answer to yourself. How many of us, rather before, other than the professors and in this group, we scholars, how many of us are really interested to pursue research? For that reason, we have joined in the PhD. So if you ask this question, many of us, even myself, is not, I am not interested to join in the research process. I joined for some other my own personal reason. So here, that thing is called aspiration. Whenever we are not fully interested or aspired to pursue in a certain field, we might lag. So this applies to the school students or the learners, basic level kids also. They have to have the interest in learning the subject. Nowadays, kids are questioning. When I grow up, I don't want to go this some other thing. So why should I need maths? I want to become a traveler. Why should I learn something? So considering the subject as a knowledge, they are not mainly considering it as a knowledge. Rather, they are considering it as a burden which is being imposed by the both parents and the school and the society. So that's where the aspiration part wavers. And because of this aspiration, motivation also wavers. Motivation, some might, இப்ப எனக்கு வந்து my fellow roommate here, once he said that he was not interested in engineering, but once he joined engineering, the teachers and their way of teaching and the subject content made him interested, so he learned engineering in an interested manner, that motivated him. Similarly, even when a person is highly interested in a subject, when the teacher or support materials are not good enough, that motivation wavers. So that's how, for a learner, The factor should be aspiration and motivation. Fourth one is life goals. Common என்கிட்ட students கேட்டது, sir, I am doing a DJ work in a function. So for a single day of DJ work, I am receiving 15,000. If I do 2 DJs in a month, I am receiving 30,000. For this, why should I learn and have a degree, sir? This was a question posed by a student to me. I Actually, I had an answer, but I didn't answer him anything. I just said because no matter what explanation I give him, he is not ready to understand and grasp the explanation given by me, because in his own terms he is earning more than me. When I was a professor, my salary was 11,000, but he is earning 30,000. If he is lucky enough, in a single month itself he might earn almost 50,000. So on his own words, he is saying that, sir, I am earning more than you. You are having this many degree, but I am just 12th, because he was pursuing. No? So I am just 12th completed. Our ultimate aim is money only, no, sir. So why should we gain some degree? Like such, life goals are determined in younger days itself. Everyone has our own life goals. So these life goals, if those life goals are not aligning with our own teaching material or teaching process, then the students will have. Last, readiness and determination. Promisingly saying, nowadays no child is ready or determined to learn anything. If they are not satisfied, or if they are feeling somewhat uh, discomfort, they are readily rejecting the subject. ஸோ இப்போ நம்ம ஒன்றும் இல்லை, சின்னதாக வந்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை வந்து ஒரு டேபிளோ இதுவோ வந்து இப்போ ஒரு ஃபீல்டு ஒர்க் போகிறோம், அங்கே போயிட்டு பண்ணுங்கன்னா, தே ஆர் ஃபைண்டிங் ரீசன்ஸ் டு எஸ்கேப் ஃப்ரம் தட் ஒர்க். சும்மா இப்போ ஃபீல்டு ஒர்க், ரீசென்ட்லி ஐ வென்ட் வித் மை அவர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஃபார் ஃபீல்டு ஒர்க். தேர் ஃபார் நேம் சேக் தே டிட் சம்திங். ஒன்றும் இல்லை, ஒரு இட் வாஸ் அ கிளீனிங் ப்ராசஸ். தேர் வாஸ் திஸ் கேர்ள், ஷீ ஹாஸ் நாட் ஈவன் கம்ப்ளீட்லி sat down and picked up the paper. She was just அந்த காலில் விழறதுக்கு முதுகு மட்டும் அலையிற மாதிரி வெறும் அந்த இடத்துலயே வந்து she was placing the fingers in the without touching the paper. She was posing as she was cleaning the ground. So likewise, they are not ready to do anything, and at the same time they are determined to get the external happiness things, like getting, if boys means they are getting some fancy bike, or girls means they are from jewelry or a kind of different mobile phones like that. So their determination is totally different. It is not the same level to the teaching process or learning subject. So these are all the factors of learners. Now moving on to the next slide. Factors affecting teaching related to support material. So support material பாத்தீங்கன்னா, please, I think this image is suitable here. So support material means whatever access. Here some of you are attending this class through mobile phones, some of you are attending through laptops, and even I myself taking class through a laptop. So, and at most very important, our signal connection, internet facilities. So yesterday some of you, not Jatin mainly said, and even some of you have said, we are not receiving proper reception from one place, so we are moving on to another place so that we can attend the class likewise. So these are all the support materials. So whenever we are having accessibility for the support materials, we can learn in a diverse, very diverse content. So it should be for diverse learning needs. Next, quality and relevance. Like I said, when I went through all the notes, many of the websites are not providing a proper understanding content. So their quality is being questioned there. And relevance. இப்போ நான் வந்து ஏற்கனவே yesterday சொன்ன மாதிரி, I am giving you some contents. If you find or if you feel whatever content I am providing you is not relevant to the subject related to UGC-NET, then at some point in the class you will just throw down your phone, you will go to do some other your own work. So that's how the relevance should be there. So whatever support material, it should provide quality as well as relevance so that we can meet the learning objectives. Next comes variety and interactivity. So slides, videos, all those things are variety, whatever different things, so that we can understand the subject better. Next, authenticity and diversity. Here it is similar to quality also, because authenticity is originality. That should not something blabber or some scribbling should be there. நம்மளுக்கு வந்து when we are publishing a paper, we used to check plagiarism and then how good is the subject. So that comes the authenticity. So here please note that the learner's background should meet with the support material supporting. So teaching should be, எனக்கு வந்து இப்ப we are all comfortable with English. So here our authenticity and diversity is met. If I am sticking with one language, that is Tamil, then some of you might not understand. Or else if I know somewhat Hindi, so if I'm trying to blabber and stutter and Hindi, everyone others would not understand. So there should be a connect with our own backgrounds, so that we can understand the support material in a better manner. Next is flexibility and adaptability. These two are not being applied in nowadays, because flexibility, this best can be exampled with school subjects. So ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து இப்ப பிசிக்ஸ் கெமிஸ்ட்ரியில ஒரு ரிசர்ச் நடக்குது. Current research is not being included in the syllabus, because previously certain number of books are printed, so that it has to go, and for the change whether the student should be, all that committee process should happen. But in reality, whenever the syllabus or teaching process or the class is flexible to turn in any manner, so that it accommodate the changes of both learners and teacher, it would be better. And not only flexible, it also adapt at a readily manner. Next, ease of use and navigation. Here ease of use is, this applies to both teacher as well as student. நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு விஷயம் டக்குன்னு எடுத்தோன்னே, we in the recent years, many of us, I'm sure I would say all, but still I'm preferring the word many of us are using chat gpt to understand the content and navigate through our needs, because rather than searching in the Google, we are depending on chat gpt, perplexity AI and other similar AI apps. We are feeling very comfortable with understanding the subject. Whenever you put a search bar with some topic in chat gpt, it would provide a minimum of 2 lines for a particular subject. You have to provide prompt in a proper manner to receive a bigger content. So this way it is very much of use, so that it will be user friendly. Next, feedback mechanisms. இது நம்ம கண்டிப்பா பண்றதே இல்லை. நம்ம for namesake recently for NAC work some of us have did. For namesake, this feedback mechanism was there. The real feedback mechanism is that there might be a possible feedback as well as negative feedback, but both should be taken into consideration, and the teaching method and content should be improved continuously, so that the arc should grow in a straight manner. Next, integration with the teaching methods for effective learning. All these support materials, இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா I said with my fellow scholars previously, in order to record this class, I was opting for Google Meet record for a single year. Their account has been asked for 2,000 rupees round. I'm round off figure. So first I was opting to purchase that option. Then I came across a software in a Microsoft Store, which asked me just 750 rupees for a lifetime payment. Here I scale balanced my options, where if I pay for Google Meet, I can only record if my Google Meet is fully connected, and just I can record that alone. But right now I have a screen recorder. I can record whatever, even my own speech. I even if I have to play a video outside, or I can record a movie for movie piracy also. So those things are being integrated. When the integration is better for my effective teaching, So these support materials would be used in a variety manner. Next, teacher training and support for implementation. The implementation process, whatever method I want to apply, that can be implemented. So these are all the factors affecting teaching through the support material. Next, instructional facilities. இதுல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரெண்டு வகையான அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் வரும். We do have two types of understanding. Instructional facilities, that's all. Instructional means we have seen that way of teaching. So teaching facilities. But why it is being put as method of teaching? So here please note down till the first 4 points. These 4 points comes under method of teaching. Other than remaining 4 points, all those things comes under direct instructional facilities. So method of teaching, learning by doing. So நம்ம வந்து ஒரு எக்ஸ்பெரிமெண்ட், ஒரு practical work, when we are doing something, we tend to remember those things in a long run. So our own method of learning would be enhanced. But in real life case, all the topics cannot be done in a, or learned in a practical way. So that's the problem arising. So here those things are varying. One example சொல்லணும்னா, I myself an aeronautical engineer. So in my college we do have 3 aircrafts, and now when I was learning, we do have a lab work where I was taught and made in a manner. I just எப்படி சொல்றது, ஒரு engine, aircraft engine, I just split down. We split down into many minor parts. I took whatever minor bolt or nut. I saw that how it is different from normal car engine or other bolts. So everything I practically touch and feel, like that I learnt in my class. But at the same time, there was a college near my hometown where aeronautical degree was there, but they don't even have a minor lab also. They just had a flex banner, one aeroplane banner. So here please understand my way of learning of the aircraft engine and that a person learning in the college itself. So learning by doing. Till now I do remember how the shape appears in that engine. So that cannot be said proved to the other college person. Then next, stability of the method used. Now I am trying a method. I am putting PPTs instead of videos, everything. So Canva nowadays we can make videos instead of slide presentation. We can make videos. நான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 1 hour ஒரு வீடியோ ரெடி பண்ணி ஆல்ரெடி நான் போட்டு விட்டு I can close it down. So on how effectively that method would be. So that determines the stability of the method used. When the desired result or all those things are not achieved, the stability surely wavers. Next, piecemeal or whole learning. So here I am definitely saying we are all piecemeal learning only, because we are not going into any topic in a very depth manner. We are learning what are all the things important for the exam point of view. Still we try to integrate, but I can assuredly say I won't complain that I am not providing a whole learning environment here. So definitely we are having a piecemeal only. So this also how it is doing. Next, recitation. Recitation பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்கூல் கிட்ஸ்க்கு we are keep on repeating ஒரு மனப்பாட பாட்டு. ஈவன் நம்ம nowadays some of us I still I'm saying still if that hurts, sorry. So some of us still don't completely sing the proper verses of national anthem or Tamil Thai Vaathu, and for Jatin case whatever in his own state itself. So we are not completely aware of the words used in the national anthem. Many times we used to interchange or blabber some words so that we sing the national anthem in a chorus manner. So but when we are kids, we used to sing a song in a memory poem, everything, memory poem, everything in a very perfect manner. So those things were did by recitation. We keep on repeating. So here comes the next, instructional facilities. classrooms, laboratories, seminars. So என்னோட certain schools there is not many seminar. My mother is headmaster, so when I go to the her school, only 3 or 4 classrooms might be there with proper ventilation, every facilities. Other than that, no classrooms would be there. So earlier students used to sit under a tree and learn the subject. The class teachers used to teach that. Then laboratory facilities, high tech laboratory, now they are implementing there. They are providing certain advanced systems so that we can do. The best example is that whenever we are applying for net, the hall ticket or whatever center they are giving, even though in a city we have chosen, many colleges would be there, still 2 or 3 colleges alone would be chosen as centers for the examinations. Why means they do have the necessary laboratory equipments or facilities to conduct the exam in a proper manner. So that showcases the differences here. Next, seminar rooms, common seminar room, on campus clinics. Here, since ours is a university, here we have a on campus clinic where near education, faculty of education. So but the underlying rule is that any institution with a minimum of 1,000 and above students, or combined up with staff itself, they should have a minimum of small clinic room should be there in case of any emergencies. So but we are not, no college or no institution is properly following those things. There are certain problems with that. Next, libraries. Libraries means digital libraries, not normal physical library. Instead, digital library. If nam Alagappa University last year they have launched the digital library, so we do have some collections being uploaded in those digital library access. They had a app called MyLoft something. So if we go through the website, it would be there. This thing is being provided to all the nationalized, centralized institutions, not just universities. For IIM, IIT, they do have. If you have an access for if you have an ID card of that institute, with that ID card, you can access anything for Scopus or Web of Science. All those things are being accessed in a very carefree manner. At the same time, those with not having access, they are struggling to cope up with whatever resources available. So these are the factors for instructional facilities. Next, learning environment. This one, இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா classroom size and layout. Here, to be honest, right now I am very much sweating because in order to avoid any voice disruption, I have turned off my fan. So uh, this 1 hour I don't have any proper air ventilation for me. I used to sweat so badly. I am still bearing to teach that, but there might arise some point in upcoming days where I cannot sit completely, so I have to stop in the midpoint of the class so that I can do something. So why is that means, this is the classroom. Here I am choosing, I don't have any other than the fan, I don't have any air conditioner. If I open the window or those things, there would be a audio disturbance with the class. So classroom size, when we are in a physical classroom, the size of the classroom should be in a compact correct manner, not too short, not too large. So so that we can, இப்ப நம்மளுக்கு I think our fellow scholars might know, நம்மளுக்கு இப்ப வந்து you just imagine நம்ம கிளாஸ்ல எடுக்கிறதுக்கும் when we are going to a conference hall or seminar hall in our institution, there is a very big difference. In அதாவது மைக் இல்லாம, without mic or any audio equipments, when you are going to take a class or any provide any instruction, it would be somewhat tough because you have to go through the whole corridor itself. So classroom size and layout impact the student interaction. Next, availability of resources and materials. Here the resources can be made as water facilities and restroom facilities and that related materials. Why I am particularly saying this means, other things comes under the previous factors itself. These things are the availability of resources and materials, that too for instruction purpose. You can say it as a projector or a Android TV, some other things. Next, classroom environments. If a classroom there is no proper lighting or there is no proper air ventilation, at some point in the class the students will feel uncomfortable, then the disruption in the class flow would be formed. So students might somewhat make some sounds, no, like that. So that would affect the student engagement and behavior. Next, technology infrastructure and access to digital tools, that we have seen in the previous slide. So whenever இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா my brother studied his PG in Karunya University in Coimbatore. There the main condition for the staffs is to they can work in any kind of international project or something, but the main condition is that the equipments or tools, whatever different kinds of, whenever there is a subject, every new kind of equipments is there, no. So whatever equipment or instrument bought by the professor for the project must be donated to the university. So they are adding those instruments as a extra benefit factor for the students in the upcoming future admission brochure. So when we are going to the Karunya Institute, at the most they would have all kinds of instruments. If I'm talking about physics, chemistry, and my brother is chemistry student, so physics, chemistry, such kind of technical things. So then they had all the, with his ID card he had access to all the scopus and all those things. So here we are struggling with something like that. So and the technology infrastructure, access to digital tools, that also enhances the student learning, because if I am not getting a paper, I have to search for other friends who are having access. I have to ask them to send the DOI, then I have to receive the paper, all those things. Next, classroom management strategies. இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல இப்ப நான் உள்ளார போனோடனே யூஸ்வலி here also I am doing still in my own class in the where I work. When I entered the class, I used to say, please don't talk. If you are not interested in the class, please go to the last row and sleep. Just don't disturb the people listening to the class. So I will employ this strategy. 99% of students will keep quiet. That 1%, some they might do something. I employed this strategy. Some would employ as a lecture or seminar, asking the students to read the topic, or providing any or group discussions. These are all the classroom management strategies. So this also affects the interaction of the or learning process of the student, of the learner. So physical comfort and safety within the classroom. ஸோ நம்ம இப்போ ஒரு சேர் இருக்கோ இல்ல வேற ஏதாவது வந்து உட்கார்றதுக்கு நாட் கம்ஃபர்டபுள், தேர் இஸ் நோ ஃபேன் ஒர்க்கிங், தேர் இஸ் நோ லைட் இஸ் தேர். ஸோ மை பிசிக்கல் லைக் ஐ செட், ரைட் நவ் ஐ எம் ஸ்வெட்டிங் ப்ரொஃப்யூஸ்லி, ஸ்டில் I am managing, but that cannot be applied to all the students. So they will seek the physical comfort, and safety means any no electrical power on the wire, some of the switches might not be working, so wire problems, all those things would be there. So those things have to be taken care of. The learner should feel a physical comfort and safety within the classroom. Next, level of noise and distractions. இதுக்கு உதாரணம் சொல்லணும்னா I have two examples as a movies. One is A Beautiful Mind, John Nashோட biopic. There some noise would be there when the hero would close, then heroine, who was a student there, she would open and request the workers to move on. In the same scene was copied and adapted in Vettaikaran movie in Tamil, where when the professor comes, she closes the window, so because of the noise. But when asked the workers will move on, then air ventilation would be there. So here that scene alone caters here physical comfort as well as level of noise and distractions. So if there is any sound audio, the Chellata Mariata நம்ம பாட்ட எந்திரன்ல வர மாதிரி robot movie, the Swami song, so those things are distractions and disturbances. when we are in the present in the classroom. So that will disrupt the learner attention. Next is seating arrangement. Seating arrangement pathina, here in Alagappa Institute of Management we are providing a chair with writing desk, individual chair for individual student. In my UG, I had a pair of people can sit in the desk. So we do have a pair setting. And when we are in school, we had 3 to 4 people sitting in a bench. So one will drag something, one will drag other way. So that kind of seating arrangements, those things also influence the student collaboration and participation. So these are all the learning environment which learning environment factors which affect the teaching process. Next, factors affecting teaching related to institution. So this is the common thing. First, teacher student ratio. There is a prescribed ratio for a better efficiency of the student for as a teacher student ratio. For a single teacher, it should be 20 or 30 students for very effective teaching. But 60 up to 60 it is reasonable. In many cases or in many schools, for a single teacher there are 120 students. So that is a very wrong way. As well as similarly, for a 5 students, I have seen there was a school near my whole hometown. Recently it was closed, government school only. So total number of students is four. Four students in the total class itself. For that, 2 teachers were appointed. So that is also wrong. Now, based on the survey, and they have closed that school, and those teachers have been transferred to other schools. Still, the teacher-student ratio should be impacted in the correct manner by the institution. Next, quality of teachers and their commitment. So, whenever I was in the engineering, actually it started with engineering, but nowadays it is being applied to every other degree. So, in engineering, whenever an engineer is he obtained a degree, not qualified as an engineer. When he obtained a degree as an engineer, he used to join in a new upcoming college for a low salary. Even high-end institutions also preferring this low quality teachers because of salary. So when yeah, a well efficient experienced staff is receiving 60,000 per month, whereas this inexperienced new fellow is ready to accept 20,000 per month. So for that 60,000 for a single teacher, they are replacing 3 inexperienced teachers. For them, it is a saving of money rather, but that affects the teaching quality as well as the student as and teacher commitment to the teaching process. Next, infrastructure. Actually, infrastructure means main. I don't think many of would discuss that thing. Painting of the building also influences the psychology of the students. There is a studies there. So painting on the building oda paint கூட வந்து நம்மள affect பண்ணும். So நம்ம wherever you go, you might find majority of the institution, higher education or school institutions, that would be either white or similar to white, very light color they would have painted. No dark colors would be painted, or if there won't be if it would be minor only 20 to 10% or 20% similarly. So the infrastructure where இப்போ இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா gents toilet is in one direction and ladies toilet is there. So those things, and water facilities where water is available. So everything comes under infrastructure. For a class to staff room, then for staff room, how it is, how many staffs in a room, how many staffs can sit down at the same time. All those things comes under infrastructure. Wheel accessible, wheelchair accessible entrances, everything comes under infrastructure. இதுவும் இப்ப வந்து ஒரு சில இடங்கள்ல எனக்கு இல்ல. For I have heard about there are certain people who wanted to learn for government exams, but since the classroom was in the second floor or third floor with no lift in the building, many of the people from wheelchair or physically handicapped, they opted out because they are finding very much trouble to reach that top floor. So that's why infrastructure mainly plays a major role in the teaching. Next, management. Here management is that management should provide enough support for both students as well as teachers, because teachers sometimes salary might be a problem, or their own personal problems might arise. So whenever they are asking for leave, management should provide. And any other physical needs, whatever the main needs should be catered, management should do that for the uh, teachers as well as students. Students also might need a proper desking or whatever. So management should not interfere with that. So நான் ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி a experienced staff is asking more salary, they should be ready to give the salary in a high manner. But what they would do is that they would remove the experienced staff, then place an inexperienced for a low salary. That management intrudes with the process of teaching. So in the long run, the outcome of the content would be very slow or unstable. Next is stability. Stability means a management is forming a rules, they should follow the rules first, adhere to the rules in a very correct manner. But if there is a change in management at the regular intervals, or change in whenever the principal is changing or the staff is changing, so the stability would not be there. That would affect the students mindset to attend the classes in a efficient manner. Last is physical and material resources. நம்ம ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரி incinerators, napkin providers, first aid kit, water facilities, electrical facilities, and wheelchair accessible entrances, parking facilities, cleaner environment. So these are all the physical as well as material resources. These should be provided by the institute, so that there should be an effective learning. So these are all the factors affecting affected by the institution in the teaching process. So that's all, slide over. Now comes question. So first question, please answer very quickly. எல்லாருக்கும் கேள்வி தெரியுதா? Question, is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, கொஞ்சம் ஃபாஸ்டா, I won't give much time, please. I will be moving on. So பார்த்துக்கோங்க. Answer please post quickly. Already time ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா 6 minutes is there.
ஏய் கொஸ்டினை படிக்க விடு, டக்கு டக்குன்னு ஓடி போயிடுது. அது கொஸ்டினை ஷேர் பண்ணு எனக்கு.
ஓகேவா?
இப்ப தெரியுது.
ஓகே, க்ளோஸ் பண்றேன். கொஸ்டின் இருக்கு, ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் ஆன்சர். பிசிஏடி. ஸோ அதர்ஸும் ஆன்சர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் பெட்டரா இருக்கும். 5 minutes தான் இருக்குது. இந்த 5 minutes ஒரு 6 questions இருக்கு. So I'm showing the answer here. That is, answer is B. ஓகேவா? நான் பிபிடி ஷேர் பண்றேன். Now we don't want to discuss. Now moving on to the next question. So please note that these are all the previous year or previous session questions for paper 1 conducted by UGC-NET. So அதனால வந்து this is how the question should be there. Whenever you see a question, you might find that whatever we are learning in the classroom and whatever we are learnt in the class, that would not be similar to the question. But ours is a linkage process. You grasp a concept and you adapt it here. That's how it is working. So answer please. 2B, 2C, some others. So I'm going to move on. The answer is D. Okay, so next question. ஜஸ்ட் தட் நம்ம இந்த 4 நாள் படிச்சதை நீங்க லேர்ன் பண்ணதை கொஞ்சம் நீங்க இதுல இன்கார்பரேட் பண்ணுங்க. எக்ஸாக்டா there won't be any questions would be coming in the net what we are learning there. So there will be some changing would be there. That's why it is a higher degree of examination. So please understand, we are learning the concepts. So based on those concepts, you please answer here. So எத்தனை பேர் ஆன்சர் பண்றீங்க? 3A. Some of you only answering. If it is everyone is answering, I will be happy. Okay, so we don't do that. So answer is B. So ஏன்னா teacher centered learning, they are not giving up the decision making role in this process. So we'll move on to the next question. Match the following. So answer please. CD, CD, okay, others. I'm going to show the answer. The next thing is that is B. I mean 2. So A4 and B1. So next thing, that's all. These are some bibliography, and if there is